So in this video I'm just going to be extending my composting area. I'm making a lot of compost now and I've actually got quite an excess of compost, so I need to create a fourth bed where I can kind of put my compost to finish and mature. So basically I've decided I'm going to keep it very close to the compost shack. There's no point in having it too far away, but I didn't want to take up any growing space in the veg garden, so I'm going to put it just out this side here. So today I'm going to clear this. I've got my leaf mould beds already in here. I've got a few trees in here which I will prune back, and then when the leaves are off in the autumn I'll dig them up and move them. I don't want to waste them. There's about 4 or 5 hazels and a couple of sycamores. These are just weed trees, these two here, so I'll just take them out, but the rest I'll move once the leaves are off. So I'm basically going to have a tidy up, get it all trimmed right down literally to the earth, just smash it down, and then I'll put some tin around and create an outdoor space where I can just put my compost in a big heap and leave it to mature. So let's crack on with it. So I've cleared the 2 sort of weed trees that I wasn't worried about, trimmed all the grass down and just cleared any rubbish out of the way. I've managed to scrape together, I've got 5 bits of tin. This is now all the tin that I've got. I haven't got any other spare. I had to steal 3 bits out of the chicken pens that I had lent up for shade. I've swapped them over. I had an old, I was given an old livestock trailer years ago. It completely rusted through the chassis and that's why I never used it. So I actually cut the roof of the livestock trailer in half, and I've just given the chickens half of the roof each as like a shade area they can get under and dust bath and take shower out of the sun and the rain and stuff like that. So I've stole their tin and I've got these 5 bits. So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to come off the corner of the veg garden post there and I'm going to come straight across here. Now I do have to leave myself enough room because I'll drive my van up here and then around and down this central track. So I just need to leave myself enough room. I don't want to come too far out here that I risk catching the van. And occasionally my friend, when he comes down and helps me, occasionally he's got his trailer on, or if he brings me wood chip and stuff, he'll come in here with a big van, sometimes a trailer. So I just need to make sure I don't come too far out into the track. So I'm probably going to come to about 2 bits of tin, so probably about here, and then I'll put one on a bit of an angle this way, and then I'll come down to here and I'll leave myself a little gateway in, basically just at the back corner of the compost shack there, so that I can just wheel the compost out of the compost shack and into the outside bed here. So that's the next job. I'm going to get the posts in, start putting the tin up, and I'll show you when I'm done. So there we go. That's the whole exterior fence up to hold the compost in. I've got one more piece of tin left, which is about a 6-foot piece. I have got a couple of sort of solid pallets, so I'll try and sort of divide up some bays. It's quite a large area, so I'll try and sort of divide up some bays so I can do my leaf mould and have my older compost out here, and then I've got to put a little gate on here just to keep the geese out, because you can guarantee with the geese, wherever I don't want them to go is where they'll decide to sleep and just poo everywhere, and it just becomes a sticky mess. So yeah, so I'll divide up some bays. I have got 2 bits of tin left on the back of the compost shack here, but they kind of help to stop the breeze going in on my mowers and things that I keep in there. So I would like to leave them if possible, but I suppose I could use one of them, but I'll have a little play around and make some bays up next. So I've pretty much laid it out the way that I want it to be. I've run out of screws, so I'm gonna have to finish it tomorrow. So I've left a gateway here, plenty big enough to get in with the barrow. These trees are going to be a bit of a pain, but obviously as soon as the leaves are off I'll move them. So I put a sheep hurdle across there, one of my old sheep hurdles that will act as a gate. In this first bay, bit of a funny shaped bay, it comes to a point here what I'm going to do, just thinking and making things up as I go along really. So I'm going to bring some chicken mesh up to the top of these posts all around, and this first sort of narrow funny shaped bay will just be where I'll put my fresh leaves. So whenever I get my leaves through the autumn, I'm going to have to bring another post, because I am out of tin completely now. I did use the 2 bits that I had up against the back of the shed here, so I've used all my tin now. So what I'm going to have to do is bring some chicken mesh down to the ground here, and square with this post here, and that will then be a containment area for leaves with the chicken mesh, so they don't blow out in the wind, and they can stay there for a year before being moved into this centre bed. So all of this big pile of leaf mould that I've got from last year, I'll shovel back into this middle bed, and this will be for leaf mould that is a year old, that hopefully next spring will be ready to use. And then what I've got this side, so I've put the 2 bits of tin that were here are slightly higher, so I've put those here. Like I say, I've run out of screws, so I've just wedged them up for now. So this will be the bay where I can bring all my compost in, that has basically done 2 or 3 of the bays inside, and it can then stay out here to mature, and I can put a tarp over it if we get a lot of wet weather. If it's getting too wet, I can keep it tarped. But what I'm going to do is so this bit of tin comes down to this 8-foot post that I put in here, and I'll tack this fence up to it to sturdy the fence up, and then these 2 pallets will bring it right down to the compost shack. So what I can do, if I get another couple of pallets and block off to this post here, then I can basically come in and I can fill this entire bay all the way up, and that is about 4.5 metres I think I did between these posts. So it's 4.5 metres by just under 8 foot for the tin there. So that's a massive holding bay for my compost, which is ideal, and it gives me a lovely area where I can really concentrate on making some beautiful leaf mould, which I want to use as a good base for my own compost mixes. I do get a hell of a lot of leaves, so that gives me a really good area for that. So I'm really pleased with it. I sort of start these things and I just have a basic idea in my head what I'm going to do, and I'm not one for making plans, and I'm not particularly organised, so I tend to just sort of start something and I just make it up as I go, and sometimes I'll have to change things if they don't work out. But no, I'm really happy with this. It's a shame I've run out of tin, but I'll always keep my eyes open for bits of tin, people selling them cheap or whatever. All of these came off a roof that was being replaced, an old barn roof on a job where I was gardening, and I took them all away. They were just going in the skip, and I've used a lot of them around the holding, so I'll keep my eyes open. But for now, like I say, I'll use chicken mesh to finish off that bit. If I need to raise the back of this, I can always put some chicken mesh along here too, just so I can sort of pile the compost up higher if need be, but it's such a big area, it should be fine. But anyway, I'm going to go home now, have a beer and have some dinner, and I'll be back tomorrow to finish it off and get it all done. So I've just dug out this bay of compost, the middle bay, ready for this to be turned over in the next week. So that will come into here. Now, this is the 3rd bay, and this is the compost that I'm using at the moment. So I'm leaving that there. There's no point in moving that to the outside new bay, because I'm using that, and there's only a few, probably 8 or 10 barrel loads there maybe. So I'm going to leave that there, but I'll just take you round now and show you the new area. So basically, like I say, these trees are a bit of a pain at the moment, but once the leaves are off in a few weeks, I will dig them out and move them. So it's this tree here, 2 trees in that bay, and there's 2 hazels along there. So basically the gateway is going to be that sheep hurdle just across the gateway there. That will stop the geese going in there and deciding to sleep in there and poo everywhere. Then this bay, I did manage to find this bit of tin here under some leaves in my odds and ends area, so I just had to cut the end off with the angle grinder and got that to fit. So this is the bay that's going to hold all my leaves. And what I did, we just put the camera down. So what I decided to do was to just put some wire on. So this is chicken mesh what I did is, again, like I say, I don't really make plans, so I realised after I'd put all the tin on, actually I should have put the wire on first. So I just undid the top few screws, pushed the tin back, and I rolled the wire around the outside so that the tin then sandwiches it, screwed the tin back on. So I've got chicken mesh all the way up, and then some old 3x2s. These were saved out of the skip at a building site, well, on a job where they're having some building works done. Like I say, I save everything. It just saves me a lot of money over the years. I've used so much timber out of skips and things. It saves me a fortune. All these posts were new posts. I always keep 6 or 8 posts in, just in case I have projects or anything needs repairing. So the posts were new, but other than that, all the tin and all the timber, and even this wire, I got this off of, I think, is it Facebook ads or something? My son put me onto it, and it was a local guy who was giving away a 10-metre roll of wire, so I picked that up. So yeah, it hasn't really cost me much at all, but I put 3x2 around the top, and this just gives me a nice area for tipping the leaves into. I can get a massive amount in here, the wire will hold them in, and on the outside I can sort of lift the bags up onto the 3x2. It's nice and sturdy, and just tip them in. Once it's getting full, I can tip them in from all round. And to shut this gate, what I'm going to do, I'll just show you. I've got this bit of ply again. Ooh, these trees are in my way, hold on 1 second. So I've got this bit of ply here that fits just perfectly across the entrance to this leaf bay area, so I'll just screw that on when it's full of leaves, and that'll do that, seal that in. And then this is the year-old leaf mould that'll stay in this bay, and then this is the bay that I've just dug out, so that's one whole bay in there. Now if I so I've put 2 pallets there, and they're screwed to this post here, screwed together, and then screwed to the corner post of the compost shack here. So once this tree's out, I could put another couple of pallets along here and just screw them to these corner supports and the post, and I could potentially get another bay's worth of compost in here. So it's quite a big area. I don't think I'm going to bother putting a roof over it. I think I'll just leave it open. I can always put a tarp over the compost should I need to. But anyway, that's my new compost area, all done, and really looking forward to next year actually to being able to make a lot of new compost mixes for seed sowing and stuff. Obviously I've got my worm compost. It's taken a bit longer than I thought to get going, but it's really getting there now. And so I'll have worm compost, I'll have really well rotted leaf mould, and I'll have plenty of homemade, sort of basically like a homemade multi-purpose compost. So hopefully with blends I can do seed trials and sort of see what works best for me as well. So that's another thing to look forward to. So anyway, all done, another little project, and hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time, guys. Take it easy.